morning, Divas. Good morning. It is another Monday, Monday the 11th today, and we are hopefully getting up and getting ready, or we're already out in the world and we're getting to our goals and taking care of our business. I know it can get very hard to keep going day after day after day after day. And a lot of you guys, and me myself, personally have dealt with depression. So I wanted to talk to you guys about depression and being able to still strive for your goals. So I want to give a few of you guys an opportunity to hop on. So if you're here with me now, go ahead and say, hey, Diva, what's up? If you catch the replay later, always comment hashtag replay so that I know you guys saw this broadcast and you're getting something out of it and it's helping you, okay? So depression, I've noticed a lot of posts here lately, especially around this time of the year. A lot of people get seasonal depression, not quite sure, you know, they're not quite aware of it, that this is a time that a lot of people start to feeling kind of down. Some of us are medicated, some of us have been diagnosed, and some of us just get a little blue around the time. I am one of those people. I've dealt with seasonal depression for a very long time, and it's something I first noticed in myself when I was pretty young, actually. I would say maybe in my teens or late teens when I went to college the first time in undergrad, and I would always notice that if I was going to have some type of breakdown or get sad or depressed, it was definitely going to be around this time of the year. I am naturally somebody who enjoys, sun and activities and traveling and those sorts of things, and all that kind of just slows down during this month, and you kind of want to hibernate. You don't want to deal with a lot of people, don't want to talk and those types of things. So that's something that I've been dealing with. And I saw you guys some of the posts lately that that you're not really feeling up to yourself and you're feeling a little bit different. So that might be something that you want to remain aware of, especially while you're doing so much. I know one of our admins said something about feeling depressed right now, working full time and going to school and taking care of kids. Like those things add up, and they don't necessarily have to, be, depression, but you can definitely start feeling some type of way. Hey, Leah, how's it going? So you could definitely start feeling some type of way when things are, just piling up around you and it seems like it's never going to end. But I'm here to tell you that it is going to end one of these days. And, one of the things that people used to tell me when I was in school, and they would ask me how long I had left and how long I had been in, and I would say, oh, I got 3 or 4 years left. And they would say, it'll be over before you know it. I used to absolutely hate that because while you're doing it, it doesn't feel like it's going to be over anytime soon. I also, when you have kids and you have little children and they're toddlers and they're infants, and you're really frustrated and you haven't gotten any sleep and all that good stuff, and somebody says, "Oh, cherish this time. It's going to be over one day and you're going to miss it," and you just completely roll your eyes because you haven't had any sleep in like 3 days. It's kind of one of those things as well. Like I don't want to say that to you because it used to be a pet peeve for me, but it will not last forever. I promise you guys. So, try to take some breaks if you can. Try to really practice your self care, even if you don't have a whole lot of time to do that. At least take 5 to 10 minutes at the beginning of your day and just maybe journal or write some positive things about yourself. One of the things that I did when I was in school is I kept a jar, and every morning I would write something positive about myself and stick it in the jar. So when I woke up and I wasn't feeling so good, I would open that jar and maybe pull a few of those pieces out and then kind of read some positivity. And that helped a lot, especially when I was feeling depressed and I was feeling down on myself. Maybe I failed a test or maybe I didn't do so well. So that really helped a lot. Leah says, I think I had a breakdown at least once a semester while finishing my MBA. And I believe you. I definitely had some breakdowns. A time that I can vividly remember is when I was in pharmacy school and we had a test. I think it was pharmacokinetics. It's one of the hardest classes I think that you can take. Like I love school and I feel like I'm very bright. Like I'm one of those, Starro students back in the day, and, scholarships and all those types of things. But that class literally whipped my ass. And I remember a test that we were having, and we went into the normal room that we had to take the test in, and the heater was broke. It was in the dead of winter, right? So the heater was broke. It was like 40 degrees in there. So they told us to pack up everything we had and made us walk up the hill and go to a different location, and gave us like I think maybe 2 or 3 hours to take the test. And when the time was up, nobody got up, like nobody moved. So they extended it for another hour, and nobody moved after an hour. So they finally gave us one more hour and said, hey, this is it. If you don't finish it up in an hour, then it's a wrap. Just turn in your test or whatever. So me and some friends, when they moved us up to the up the hill to the other room, I put all my friends in my car and we drove up there, right? So after all this, after getting our butt kicked in this test, I mean, nobody was finished. Not one person, I think, got up from that test. We went back outside, and I was going to pile my friends back in my car and go back down the hill and drive them back down the hill. And when I went to unlock the door didn't unlock because the battery was dead. And at that moment, it was like me and four of my friends, and the door wouldn't unlock, and I just was like, and I just started sobbing. And my friend, she kept asking me, she said, do you want me to call maintenance, or do you want to call somebody? Do you want me to do this and want me to do that? And I said, no, I just want to cry for a second. And then all of us just broke out into tears and started crying. And we did that for maybe about 5 or 10 minutes, standing out there in the cold. And then we kind of dried our tears, and then we were able to make moves. But, don't be afraid to just, if you feel like you got to cry, just cry and let it out. And be in your feelings for a second. It's hard work being in school, and especially when you feel like you don't have the support that you need. As an adult, now we have kids, and now we have jobs, and now we have people who are depending on us for different things. And you might feel like, okay, I have to be strong and I have to get through this or whatever, but you still need to address your self-care. You still need to take care of yourself. You still need to mentally take good care of yourself, because it can all pile up. And I'll tell you, when I graduated in 2016 from pharmacy school, I was like on 10 for probably about 2 or 3 months, right? Just happy. I traveled a little bit because I hadn't really went anywhere like in 6 years that I was in school. I had babies who were in NICU for a stint when they were first born. I went through a divorce or a separation, and my husband was, a serial cheater, and he did the most, and I didn't feel supported, and a lot of things happened, in my family, and I was building a business, and, building a business is something else added on top of everything. Building a business is not easy. You feel like you are, you feel like a failure sometimes, actually. So it's just a lot of things that over the course of 6 years that I had really suppressed, because I was trying to get to that goal of getting out of school. And like I said, when I graduated, for about 2 or 3 months, I was on like cloud nine. I was on high. I was, doing all these things. I had made a decision that I wasn't going to go into pharmacy. I had built a business doing pharmacy school, and I was going to take at least that year off in order to see if I could, keep growing my business. So I had made a lot of decisions, a lot of quick decisions. And, after about 3 months, everything just came to a screeching halt. Like all the things I had pushed off and I had ignored, and I had been taking care of myself, all that stuff came bubbling back up. And probably in, I think, September or October of 2016, I was a complete mess. Like, I mean, sobbing every day. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to take care of, I didn't want to do anything. Like, I was just a complete basket case for like a month or two. Hey, Trey, how's it going? So I'm telling you this story to say this: if you are feeling some type of way, if you are struggling mentally, if you're going through things, definitely take a little bit of time. Allow yourself some time. Just like anything else that you have to put on your schedule. When we get so busy and we got all these obligations and all these responsibilities, it's very easy to ignore ourselves, because as women, we're naturally nurturers. We naturally love to give to others. We take care of everybody else. But just like you put your child's doctor's appointment on your schedule, just like you put study time on your schedule, you need to be very intentional about scheduling some time for yourself and for your self-care and for your mental health, okay? So, there's no excuse, just like I did. There was no excuse for me not to handle those things. That's something that I could have probably dealt with a little bit better along the way, so it wouldn't come crashing down on me, after I got to that goal. So, if you're dealing with depression, if you're dealing with anxiety, if you're dealing with, some things that are going on in your personal life, make sure that you take just a little bit of time out of your day. And I'm not saying it has to be an hour or, a whole week, or to have you get up somewhere and go on vacation. It could be, meditating for 5 minutes in the morning, or it can be, reading a book, or it could be, learning more about self-care, yoga. It could be taking a walk. It could be any of those things. And what I'm saying? I know it's hard, especially for those of you who have young children and you're going to school and stuff. It may be hard to find some time during your day, but please, please, please try to find some time during your day so you're not so overwhelmed, because it's hard to take care of other people when you're not first taking care of yourself. And that's something that I have to remind myself of very, very often, because as mothers, as wives, as women, as daughters, as all these different roles we play in the lives of others, if we are not at 100%, if we're not, if our cup is not full, it's hard to pour into other people. You're going to be pouring from a place of lack instead of a place of abundance. And when you pour from a place of lack, then everybody feels that. Okay. So that's one of the things that I have had to learn in my adulthood, in my motherhood, being a wife, or being, a partner to somebody else. If I don't take care of myself, then the entire operation, entire household will lag, because so much goes through us. So many things happen through us, holidays, Christmas, birthdays, those types of things. Anna Marie says, I struggled through school and didn't know why I was having it rough at first. My grades were food, but only because I received tutoring, or her grades were good, but only because she received tutoring, had lots of sleepless nights. I couldn't stay awake in class and was constant pain and struggle getting out of bed. No one could understand what was going on. Then I was diagnosed with autoimmune disorder, which explained everything, but I still struggle. Yeah, I mean, you have to start paying attention to your body, because, a lot of us are, especially going back to school, we're not kids anymore. We're adults. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be dealing with that we didn't deal with back in the day. And, unfortunately, autoimmune disorders and high blood pressure and heart disease and cholesterol, diabetes, all that stuff starts showing up at this time of our lives, 30s and 40s and 50s. We're going to start experiencing those things. So you have to pay attention to yourself. Don't be so focused on your goal that you forget to take care of the vehicle that's going to get you there, which is you. It's like going on a long trip. You're going on a long journey. What do you do before you jump on the road in your vehicle? You hopefully make sure that the oil is changed, your tires are good, your brakes are good. You make sure there's maintenance. And along the way, you have to stop and get gas. You know what I'm saying? So that you have to realize that with yourself as well. It's hard to take these long journeys, and that's what school is. A school is not something that you just start today and end tomorrow. Like, these are years and years of time that it takes you to earn these degrees and to get these positions and to better your career. It's a long journey, so you have to get into the habit of taking care of yourself along the way. You have to, because if not, the goal is great. You know what I'm saying? It's good to get to your goal, but if you get there and you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor because you're down, you're out, you're sick, you're not healthy, you don't have relationships with the important people around you anymore because those have slacked off, then it doesn't make that goal feel good when you get there. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot out of you. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself, please. And like I said, I know it's hard. I'm having to reset myself right now. I feel like every new year I reset myself. I set some goals for myself to level myself up, and leveling myself up, like I said, doesn't just include those professional accolades, those degrees. Those are man-made type things. They're nice to have: cars, clothes, degrees, good profession, make a lot of money. Those are good things to have. But at the end of the day, if you haven't taken care of yourself, if you get to that goal and you don't even recognize who you are anymore because you haven't been taking care of yourself and pouring into yourself, then for me it kind of taints that goal. So sometimes, like I said, at the beginning of the year, I have to take a evaluation of myself. How have I been mentally? How is my health? Have I been gaining weight? Have I, been eating wrong? Those types of things. Have I been able to take some time to myself? How do I schedule some time for myself? And this is something that you might have to go back to more than once a year. You might have to go back to that monthly or even weekly or quarterly, just to make sure that you are, pouring into yourself a little bit more as well. So while you guys are on, I just want to remind you of a couple of things. We're going to be starting to do a giveaway, so be on the lookout for that. That'll be on our Back to School Divas fan page. So if you haven't liked that, the link is also in the description here to like our fan page. Also follow us on Instagram. We'll be posting that there as well. Okay, so we're going to be starting off with a $50 gift card to Starbucks. So hopefully you guys will enter that. It's fun, but it's also to grow our group so that we can begin to help even more women who are going back to school as well. So I appreciate you guys in advance for taking part and participating in those giveaways. Okay. Also, if you would like to be featured, and this is something that I hope a lot of you guys take advantage of, featured on our blog and in our community, we would love to feature you. And it's actually something that you can do to help other women as well. We want to just know a little bit about your story because all of our stories are definitely unique. Okay. Some of women, they're really struggling with, oh, I'm 50 years old. When I get back to school and then I graduate, I'm going to be this age and that age and stuff like that, or I have young kids, or, everybody's situation is different. So we ask you guys to participate in being featured on our blog so that women who may be in the same position can see that it is possible to go back to school and be very successful at it. So, if you'd like to share your story and your study tips and the things that motivate you, definitely click on that link. Get featured in the BTSD blog. We would love to have your story, okay? Also, you can read more about our featured divas on our blog in our Diva Spotlight. That is actually a link that's on our on this post as well. So make sure you take a look at that. Also, there's a free download there. Get the everything you need to pass your college papers. It's a free download that is full of different writing tips, writing guides, style guides, things that professors look for, and even templates. So a lot of these classes require you to do not just like narrative essays, but analytical essays, different forms of essays that, can be a little bit difficult if you haven't seen them before. So all of that is actually in that guide. So you can take a look at that. And keep it so when you have a paper to write, you'll have somewhere to start from, okay? Love this. Brag on yourself. Teacher, you're so crazy. Brag on yourself. Yes, everybody should be bragging on themselves. If you've made an accomplishment, I don't care how big or how small it is, get used to bragging on yourself. Because sometimes I'm going to tell you, in our position as women, sometimes we're going to be the only ones who will, okay? So don't ever wait for nobody else to brag on yourself. Brag on yourself, okay? Does anybody else have any stories of depression or maybe anything that you've struggled with to share on this live today? And again, this is something that I'll be hopping on every Monday at 9 to do a Monday motivation. I feel like hopefully it helps you guys. If it does, definitely leave a heart in the comments and let me know. And I'll be, I'll know what you guys need and what you guys want. So that helps a lot for you guys' feedback. I absolutely love you guys' feedback. So If you have some, leave it in the group, or you can definitely direct message me. I remember going back with, I think when I went back, my first day of pharmacy school was my girl's first day of daycare. They were like 10 months old. So going to school with kids is definitely something that I can speak on and I can tell you about. It's not easy, but it could definitely be done. So don't let that discourage you. Trey said, yes, after my mom passed, I haven't found motivation to go back to school. I totally get that. After your mom passed, I haven't lost my mom. I lost my father last year, right, like 2 days after Christmas. So, losing a parent is just, it's one of those things that you really don't know how you feel until it actually happens. But try to turn that around. Use your mom as your motivation. Your mom would have wanted you to do everything in this life that you ever possibly wanted. She wants you to, you know, go after your dreams. She wants your life to be positive. She wants your life to be abundant. So, use that. I know it's hard with your mom not being here, but try to, in her memory, try to do everything that you can to reach the goals that you have set for yourself, and just turn that around just a little bit so that you can, find that motivation. And sometimes I will be honest with you, motivation comes and goes. It's about discipline more so than motivation, because I mean every day I wake up in the morning, especially dealing with things like anxiety and depression and stuff like that. I don't feel it. I'm not interested some days. So, on those days I have to pull from something other than my motivation. I have to be disciplined. I have to, know, okay, I've got to get up, because it's that consistency that's really going to get you to where you have to go. And like I said, if you're feeling some type of way when you wake up, if you've been going hard for weeks and months and stuff, and you just wake up one morning, you're like, you know what, I need a me day. Go ahead and take that, because again, it's about consistency. If you have woken up every morning, you did what you're supposed to do, you're going to get those results because you've been consistently doing what you're supposed to do. Let's see. Teacher says, agree. When my dad passed, I used him as motivation. He was my rock and my motivator. Absolutely. I know it's hard. Losing a parent is not something that I would wish on my enemy, but you definitely have to, flip that around sometimes. I took the fall semester off not only because I was going through grief, but because of the homeschooling for my daughter, struggling with the idea of going back to school. Yeah, it's a weird time right now. Homeschool, like my kids are up there right now doing their school, and I've had to completely restructure my workday in order to be able to accommodate that. But I can't see sending them back to school right now. So yeah, it's a lot, but it definitely can be done. So if you can structure your day a little bit different, around your kids. And I'm a business owner, so one of the things that I teach for my clients who are doing business coaching with me is try to build your business around your family. Don't build your family around your business. Okay, don't do that, because it's counterproductive. Okay, it will discourage you. It will hinder you. So whenever I go into a new venture, I try to build it around my family. It might not always be fair. It might not seem like our partners have to do the same thing, but that's not my concern. My concern is that my household is running in a healthy manner. Taquana says definitely come and goes. I agree. She says, after my mom was killed, I didn't want to do anything. It took me 8 months to get halfway back to myself. My mama always told me to go back. She was my motivation. Yeah, I remember hearing about that, Taquana, and I'm so sorry for your loss. Took you 8 months to get halfway back to myself. It could take a while. You may be changed forever, but some of those things, there's positives and there's negatives in every situation. So we all have our journey, and sometimes it does take a while to get back, after we've lost like that. Teacher says, I took a mental health day today, lol. My classes start tomorrow. I need an extra day to get my rhyme right. Girl, I took a mental health week last week. Like, my children were at their auntie's house for the entire week, and my boyfriend was looking at me like, when the kids come back? And I was like, when they come back, because I'm tired and I need a break. Because homeschool starts again on Monday, and then I gotta work and I gotta do all these things. So take some time. If you need it, take it. Taquana said, I also use makeup as a therapy for me. Girl, and Taquana is the bomb. If you guys are not following her and her page and you are interested in makeup, I'm gonna have her come do my makeup one day soon, and I can't wait because she is the bomb at doing makeup. I try, but she really knows what she was doing. Let's see, Anna Marie. I was scared to finish school because it seemed as every time I was close to graduating, I lost a family member. This goes back all the way to middle school. Then a few months ago, I thought I was going to lose another one. They were in the ICU, and yeah, that could cause some PTSD right there. You feel some type of way, like every time you get close to a goal, here comes something else. And I've been through that before. Like it seemed like every time I was trying to get to a goal, like the people around me, I lost a lot of people around me, and they didn't necessarily, pass away, but they distanced themselves from me. And I realized that I couldn't let that stop me because some people were just not going to be happy with you when you're trying to level up and you're trying to do better. Like you're going to lose some friends. And, it's a little bit different than them passing away and going to ICU, but it's also something that you have to address and think about as well. You have one life, and that might be what that situation is trying to teach you. Like you have one life to do what it is that is your purpose. And that when that time is over, it is over. So, look at that going on around you and let that be your motivation to say, you know what, one day we're all going to have to leave this space. We're all going to, leave our bodies and go, on to what's next. So do what you need to do and strive to what you're doing like now. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's over, it's over. I would rather, pass away or live my life getting to where I wanted to be and improving myself than not. So yeah, Anna Marie, one day, like I said, we all have to go. So spend your time doing what it is that you love and that you're passionate about. Teacher says, don't put a time limit on your grief. It's gonna go on 3 years for me. Go through the process. That's absolutely facts. Um, and I think being a little bit older, I think when my father passed, it gave me the opportunity to kind of view it objectively. My dad was, they're 83, I believe, or going on 83 when he passed away. So he had lived a long life. So it's a little bit different than, losing your mother tragically, like Taquana did. So I can definitely understand. So if you got to take some time, you take some time. Taquana says most definitely it'll be 5 years on the 24th this month, and it still feels like yesterday. Absolutely. So one of the things that I did because I knew I was going to be struggling, like I told you guys, December is a month that I know if I'm going to have a breakdown or if I'm going to feel some type of way, it's going to be in December. So I knew that the anniversary of my father's death was on the 27th of December. So I went ahead and scheduled some time for me to just be down. Of course, there's things that I have to do, but I went ahead and I lightened my load and moved some things off my plate because I knew I was gonna be a little bit more delicate than usual. So I wanted to make sure that I had some time to cry. I knew I was gonna shed some tears, so I needed to make sure that I had some time to do that. Jaquana, what's going on in Chattanooga these days? My mom is actually here from Chattanooga this week. But the last time I spent a lot of time there was again last year when my father passed away. I was there for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I believe. Yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks. And I think that's about the longest time I've spent since I've been there. Trey says November, December was hard for me. It is hard for me. Oh yeah, November and December. Like I said, it's just the time of the year too. That and then events pile up and make those months. November, December, and January, I would say. Taquana says, going through what I've been through has opened doors for me, especially in the makeup world. Absolutely, Taquana. And I'm glad you're able to, after this period of time, to look at things, or to just look at the positives. I know there's negatives, but definitely look at the positives as well. School starts back for me today. Yes, girl. School is starting back up. What classes do y'all have right now? I'm still working on the tutoring service. We're in the process of hiring the tutors and all that good stuff. Nothing is going in chatting, not a dang on thing. Well, when are you leaving? When are you going to come? You going to come visit Atlanta? Are you going to relocate? My mom is still there. My little sister is still there. The rest of my family is still there. I haven't lived in Chattanooga since I was 17. I went to school at Middle Tennessee and then came to Atlanta after graduating, after a year of graduating. And that was like 2007 when I graduated the first time. Moved to Atlanta 2008 and then went back to school. Went back to finish some prereqs in like I think it was 2011, and got into pharmacy school and started pharmacy school in 2012, and then graduated in 2016. So I think I've been in school 10 plus years by the time I had graduated. I was sick of it. Sick of it. Sick of it. But nothing's going on there. Where would you live? Like, where would you move to if you could? Well, I know something's going on in chat. I want to recloak. My granny's here. I can't leave her alone. She would fall into a deep depression, especially after losing her daughter. Yep, pack her up and take her with you. That's what I would do. Pack her up and take her with you. Or at least, show her some new things, get her out. I know it's a little bit hard right now because we have, COVID and stuff like that, but I believe that you can still do things safely. I've traveled a little bit during COVID. I have not been out of the country like I normally would. Normally, I would be out of the country, at least 4, 5, 6 times in the year, but I haven't went out the country. But I've been different places, and we're still healthy. We take our precautions and all that good stuff, and we're still moving. Knock on wood. She won't leave. She won't leave. Oh yeah, she'll start leaving when she realizes, she'll leave. She'll leave if she think you leaving. She'll leave. She'll come with you. She'll leave. And sometimes you might not have to frame it as, okay, you moving with me. Just say, you coming to visit for a little while. Just tell her to visit for a little while. She always say, take your ass on, but I ain't going. Yeah, and sometimes they be a little stubborn, and maybe she's a little bit stronger than you think she is. So, I wouldn't say just up and leave, but definitely, you're not working right now. I'm not sure if you are or not. So you got a little bit of freedom. While you have a little bit of freedom, take advantage of it. Go and travel to a couple places that you think you might want to move and stay there for a little while. And see if you like it, and she might change her tune, but you might find that she's not as needy as you think she is. So there's that as well. So just take a look. Take a look at it and see what happens. Well, guys, I'm not going to keep you on too much longer. I told her she needed to date a deacon or something. Taquana, you always been a fool. She need to date a deacon or something. I mean, she might already be dating the deacon, and you ain't even know it yet. She might already be dating the deacon. And that's what I said. You might be overcompensating for her a little bit. She tells you to take your ass on, and she ain't going. She might be straight. It might be you holding yourself back. So Take a look at that. But I'm not going to hold you guys. Definitely take a look at some of those links that I posted in the comments. Taquana, you would be perfect for a feature. Trey, Tidra, and Anna, please do me a favor. Go ahead and click on the link that's in the description. It says get featured in our BTSD blog. I would love to have you guys, okay? Love to have you guys to be featured because you guys have some great stories. Taquana, I would love to, get some information and get some motivation because a lot of people have lost, as you can see, just 2 on this broadcast have lost a parent. I've lost a parent, and we would love to know how you keep yourself motivated, okay? Teacher says that's why she don't want to leave. She told me she have her footprints on the ceiling. Lord Jesus, don't be throwing grandma out there like that. All right, guys. Again, take a look at some of the links in the post. I'll leave them in the comments as well so that you can take a look at those. And I'll be seeing you next Monday. All right, guys. Have a good one.